is Andera. She organizes with PSL, good leftist organization.
So peace everyone, my name is Andera and I'm an organizer with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. So we're here today to mourn the deaths of our brothers and sisters. To date, the police have killed 425 people this year. It is without question that they don't protect us. They didn't protect George, Dante, Tamir, Breonna, Adam. And here we are again in the middle of this show trial for George Floyd, a televised reliving of the events that transpired on Memorial Day. And we can't forget George. We can also not forget that this is a 400-year-old problem. There is an undeclared war being waged on our people since the birth of this country. And this isn't just about police brutality. Of course, we need to put Chauvin on trial, but we need to put the entire system on trial. In the PSL, we have a slogan that goes, "Stop the war on Black America." Can we all say that together? Stop the war on Black America! Stop the war on Black America!
Stop the war on Black America!
In recognizing this undeclared war, we gotta think and ask ourselves, why do they have war gear? Who trains them? Can the police be reformed or abolished without taking on the capitalist system? We've seen the same thing happen under Democrat and Republican presidents. We saw the same thing under Obama when the Democrats had controlled the House and the Senate. We had Trayvon Martin, Oscar Grant, Mike Brown. And then we had Trump, and of course it continued. But now some more liberal elements took to the streets, but only to push reformist solutions. Band-aids on a 400-year-old open wound that is constantly being deepened. And we're here because we're sick and tired. And our society is sick, and not just from COVID-19, which has left over 600,000 people dead unnecessarily, but we're sick from within at its core with white supremacy and capitalist violence. And we can no longer accept the diagnosis that the problems we face by the same people, the same class, that not only reinforces our oppression, but actively benefits from it. Adam Toledo was 13 years old and shot dead by Chicago police. Mayor Lightfoot needs to resign, and how dare she tell us not to get involved in violent protests and to stay calm. We have the right to rebel. We have the right to resist because we have the right to live. I also have a son in middle school like Adam. This could be any of our children or students. Dante Wright was only 20 years old. We remember 12-year-old Tamir Rice, and those police were let off, and in fact, they were hired after being fired in another Ohio police department for their brutality. Junior DeVega was my cousin who was killed by Boston police when he was just 19 years old. And who got charged? His brother for fighting back in self-defense against the same police department, and his mother was dragged throughout the media. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly how it's supposed to. We are living and reliving after traumatic death after death and struggle after struggle, but we need to forge ahead and never forget, but also learn lessons of the struggle. And it hasn't even been a year since George Floyd was murdered in broad daylight, and the only reason we know of George is because his community rebelled. They videotaped the police and they were not passive in their resistance. And now we see Chauvin on trial, despite us having seen him murder George in cold blood. And we have the show trial, the media is telling us the system is on trial. Which is pleased, right? Because the capitalist system will never put the capitalist system on trial. And today we heard the closing statement. The state that is supposed to be representing Floyd gave an ode to police, saying that this is not an anti-police trial, but a pro-police trial. It will sacrifice Chauvin and make him exceptional, but he is the normal, and him going to jail will not mean the murder and the brutal oppression of our people will end. And if this is war, class war, we have to win, even if we don't want to fight. I was born into struggle, and we in the PSL believe that we can reform a system to serve our needs. The police are not an institution we can reform. They need to be pulled out by its roots in the branch along with the entire capitalist system. The police are the bulldogs of racism. And we are told that we need more legislation to keep the dogs from attacking us. Well, instead of just focusing on the dogs attacking us, we need to look at the owner of the dogs to really put an end to this oppression. The police and their brutality are just the tip of the iceberg. In order to truly end racist police terror, we need to organize like we've never organized before. And we need to not just mobilize against racism, just like people are doing all over the country, but we need to organize ourselves as a people who are in a war, whether we recognize it or not. And here in Rhode Island, we need to pop the liberal bubble that Rhode Island is somehow more progressive, and that the South is the only place where we have racist police terror. Because as Black revolutionaries have known, like Malcolm X told us, anything below the Canadian border is South. So we need a new system, one deserving of our children like Adam, Toledo, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, because our revenge will be the laughter of our children. And peace and power to you if you're willing to fight for it.